Jadon Sancho deal finally completed tomorrow, according to sources in Dortmund. Players coming back from injury, but why are some longer than others? We have a date for when them players and what game they're going to be coming back in. Hannibal, tug of war, Everton, Sevilla, Facundo Palestri as well. What's going on with him? And of course, we cannot do an evening show without talking about the man himself, Mr Anthony Martial. Nah, thanks. I'd never not play football. I just sit on my money, quote unquote. Well, Martial, apparently, he's got nowhere to go, and Manchester United are stuck with him for another 6 months. Did you expect anything else? I actually got a little bit excited when I heard about that bid from Fenerbahce, but no, apparently, nothing on the table. Nothing significant enough, i.e., pay me more money because I am a greedy bastard and I want to do F all for nothing. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get into Martial straight. I can't let him control the show. Sorry, I'm not letting it happen. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Welcome along, everyone. Hope you're all doing very well. Let's get talking about Jadon Sancho before my blood boils talking about Anthony Martial, but we will. I just don't want to make him the headline act again. Does my head in. It really does. But yeah, let's get into what is actually going on at Manchester United today. And finally, yes, not like last Thursday, nearly enough a week down the line, here we go, pretty much is there. It's not done yet. I'll make sure I say that beforehand, but sources from Germany, I think Sky have seen it, TalkSport, everyone is onto it. I'll read the official line which is coming out regarding Jadon Sancho's situation right now, and that would be Borussia Dortmund are hopeful that Jadon Sancho will arrive in Germany on Wednesday ahead of his proposed loan move from Manchester United. Loan agreement is worth a minimum 3.5 million, and Dortmund will cover a proportion of Sancho's salary, with United potentially receiving bonus payments based on performances. That come from The Athletic. Chris Wheeler added to that, Manchester United will pay up to £100,000 a week towards Jadon Sancho's wages while he is on loan at Borussia Dortmund. Actually, I don't think we've done too bad in in getting them to cover like 2/3 of his wages. I expected United to be like covering most of it, in the way that we work and the way that we handle our transfers. Honestly, I was thinking I'm feeling the worst, but no, Dortmund have committed to 2/3 of Sancho's wages. United paying 100 grand. I mean, if anything, you're looking at it, it's not great. It's quite embarrassing for United, but we're actually saving a little bit of money considering what it could have been. I.e., Jadon Sancho sat there in the reserves and the youth team, not talking to anyone, isolated, a problem that's just there and everyone can see. And now we're getting 200,000 every week saved by letting Dortmund take him away on loan. It's not the worst case scenario, is it? It really isn't. I think in the end United haven't done too bad out of it, and they will get performance related bonuses as well. So minimum 3.5 million, 2/3 of his wages covered for the rest of the season. United can get everything organised and hopefully come back and deal with that in the summer, but for now, with the added extra of bonuses, if he does do well, I think it's a win-win for United, this one. Dortmund can't afford him, we've spoke about that. They can't afford to buy anyone, but I don't know where they're getting that wage from. I think there'll be a few upset people in the Dortmund squad, knowing that Jadon Sancho's getting now on 200 grand a week paid by the club. That'd be very interesting to see how that's gone down over there, but we don't care. He's out of the door. He's gonskis, and we can move on finally from that. Well, move on to the summer anyway. But I said the other night on another show about Mason Greenwood and Jadon Sancho both coming back in the summer. Both, well, Greenwood's played both sides for Getafe from what I've seen so far this season. I think it makes the Jadon Sancho situation easier with Greenwood coming back, to be honest. And I'm not passing the Greenwood situation off as a done and dusted. I do think United will be forced into keeping Mason Greenwood because we can't afford to lose him. He's a quality player and we're not going to get the right price for him because we've got that stupid 20% sell on now from Getafe. So I think United will end up keeping Mason Greenwood and Sancho will end up being forced out of the club some way or the other to, I don't know, some poor soul, I would say, some poor bugger, but he might come back. He might find his form. find it alright in Dortmund, and it all comes back to him again, and he remembers how to play football. But for us right now, it's not working, and the club have acted quickly. 1 week into the window, pretty much finished yesterday, and Sancho, yes, yesterday, I don't count New Year's Day. So Sancho, done and dusted, out the way early doors, problem gone. On to the next one. The next problem being, well, it's a constant problem bringing anyone in. We're not going to get a replacement. We're definitely definitely saving the pennies for the summer. We know that. It's just who Manchester United get on loan. That's the that's the big one. I don't personally know, and I cannot think of anyone that is available on loan which is going to help us right now. There's plenty of players that would improve us. I just don't know how many of them are actually on loan or available for loan. That is the problem with United right now. We could make money in sales, but I think it's easier for United to actually get everything in order and in line for the summer rather than try and squeeze through anything in January, because it's not really going to benefit us getting rid of players on the cheap in January. We talked about Facundo Pellistri last night, and I don't feel like it benefits the club that much, because where's the money going to go? It's not going to get spent in January to help us this season. So maybe send him on loan, then maybe make that deal happen in the summer. Or he might come back a completely different animal and a great player, even better player than what he already is. You just don't know. So I would say definitely don't take anyone, is what we're saying. Don't take anyone. Definitely not like we've done before. Like Weghorst is a no-go. I understood Sabitzer last season. I thought that wasn't too bad. Unfortunately for us, he's another Demic, and towards the back end of that loan, we never seen him because he was on the injury table constantly. So I would take the right player, but I'm scraping the barrel. People are talking about Malin. No, not for me. It's a pointless signing for me, because he's not going to play ahead of Antony. Right now, I feel like Ten Hag should be either way dying or living or dying on his sword. He should. He should be having to deal with Antony and make it work. If it means playing Rashford on the right hand side, Garnacho on the left, vice versa, and Antony doesn't get in the team, I think that's the way around it. Manchester United, I don't feel, need to be bringing in another right-sided midfielder in this January transfer window. I think Ten Hag has to make use of what he's got. It's as simple as that for me. I don't think the owners, I don't think Ineos, I think anyone at United wants to spend any more money in January and waste it. So no, not for me. Definitely not. I don't think he deserves any more money. I think he's got enough. He's been praising the players that are coming back and bigging up that as a turning point. So I'm not having it. Benzema, no. I don't think that'll happen either. I just think if Benzema comes in, it's just going to disrupt and stop or hamper Højlund's progression. He needs to play. It's as simple as that. He needs to play games, Højlund. He needs to do better than what he did last night. That game has passed now, and hopefully he learns from it. Maybe with a better setup behind him, Casemiro, Mainu, Bruno. You just don't know. But with McTominay there, again, I just don't think that works. And I think it just looked like there was too many chefs in the kitchen last night. McTominay was all over the place. I know what he's trying to do. I know he's keen and he's eager to get in on the score sheet and help the team out and do what he can, but Ten Hag just can't control him, I don't think. Pretty much like Bruno as well right now. I think Bruno gets put in his place when he's got experienced players alongside him. I think when Casemiro's back, we might see a different Bruno Fernandes again. I'm not saying that Casemiro's going to come back and hit the ground running either. It's another decision that needs to be made. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one once Sancho goes. See what United do. I hope we don't just go and loan anyone in. I'd rather see no loans and wait till the summer than bring in desperate, pointless ones. I do, because Malin is not going to get ahead of Rashford. He's not going to get ahead of Garnacho. And I'm pretty certain if Ten Hag's in charge, he isn't going to get ahead of Antony. It's pointless. Forget it. Don't even go there, is what I say. And I think United will do well in holding off this January and just saving themselves for the summer. Can everyone just give the video a like, please? Well over 300 in the room already. Cheers everyone for joining in. Let's get liking the video. Let's get up to the 100 mark, please. We're just coming up to 10 minutes in the show. I'm going to hit the chat in a minute, but of course, we have to bring up the other news. Yes, I see my man James in the chat there. Of course, Martial is staying. The man is lasting longer than lockdown at this point. Yes, Martial. Let's read into what is going on with Tony Martial, eh? Anthony Martial has been told he can leave Manchester United this month. However, Martial knows he will not be able to command a 250 grand a week salary he earns at United once he becomes a free agent. So could well opt to sit on the final few months of his deal, basically scraping whatever he can out of this Manchester United contract, which he should never have got, until the last day, and then he walks away. Ten Hag is answering no questions on Martial at all. I've not heard one presser where a journalist has asked a question and demanded we know what is going on with Martial right now. The club have come out and it's rumours. No, it's not rumours. It's actually journalists who are asking the club what's the situation with Martial. He is available, so that means that he cannot be too bad then. That means he's not got an injury. So where the hell is he? Where the hell is he? And this next comment from TalkSport blows my mind. And this is what really riles me. I hope it's not true. But the uncertainty over Anthony Martial's future was one of the reasons why Manchester United did not follow up on their initial interest in Tottenham-bound Timo Werner. I mean, come on. Come on, seriously. You have got to be absolutely having a giraffe with that one. We're not going for Werner because Martial could be staying at the club. Most counterproductive decision ever for Manchester United. 100 likes in, gifted membership in from General Foodie. Thank you very much. Guess has taken that membership. Welcome to the Members Club, Guess. Do drop down in the description. The link is there if you want to become a member of the channel as well, guys. And the join button is right there next to the subscribe button as well. But get your thoughts in on Martial right now, guys. Because sitting on his wages, not wanting to play football, there's many a comments gone out over the last few months on Anthony Martial. There's many a people, I dare say, including myself. He is, and the best way to describe Martial is like many have said, he is and epitomises everything that has been wrong with Manchester United for the last decade. He really has. A player that is just lauded up and built into and bigged up to a level that he just cannot maintain, he cannot meet, and he's nowhere near the player that people think he is. He's got qualities, yes. He will never be world class. He hasn't got the mentality to be world class. That's what Martial is. He's not just our manager now. It's one of managers before that have been at Manchester United. Two or three international managers, Deschamps. It's just Seville. What happened in Seville last season, couldn't hack it there either. The man is, for me, he is a proper sulker, a proper slapped ass, and the fact that he's been at this football club for that long just shows how bad we've been. It really does. Martial he just needs to go. And you know what? I'm not even gonna cheer or celebrate when he does walk out the door. I'm just gonna go, you know what? This is something that the club should have done 5 years ago. Just got rid, dealt with it there and then, and moved on. Instead, we're having a conversation about a player that has just dragged his ass along every single season, stealing a living at the football club. The man is a disgrace to the shirt. He really is. It riles me how Ten Hag defends him. Just tell us what's wrong with him so we can stop slagging him off then, Eric. It really does annoy me. A super chat in from Peter Reds. Martial and Sancho out. Keep the rest until summer. Don't bring anyone in. Eric Ten Hag sign these players, so let him work on what we have. Assesses at the end of the season and go from there. Just my opinion. Pete, exactly echoing what I just said a moment ago. I don't think we should panic bring anyone in. Not even a loan signing, I don't think. We've got plenty of players there to deal with what we've got this season. Ten Hag has spent a fortune. I do believe that he should be dealing with this himself and making good of what he has actually got and what he spent at this football club. So yeah, I agree with that completely, Peter. I think Ten Hag needs to be organising this and getting more out of these players. He really should. Let's get into the chat and see what you guys are saying. Come on, Adam. This United talk about Dose, not surprising. About Martial has pictures of the Glazers in. I think he's got them up in his wall, in his room at home, I think, as well. Stinky attitude, says Daz. Batman rules. What about the Ballon d'Or Monaco puts in the deal when we bought him? Yeah, we were never paying that 50 million, was we? I think we knew that. There were signs that he could be a very good player, never world class. He just never developed past the first 2 seasons at the football club, and the club had just let him deteriorate. And I've accepted that he is an asset to this football club. It's an utter disgrace from the football club, more than Martial, to be honest, that he's still here. And we go on about him and his attitude and the way he mopes and moans, but really, the biggest culprit in all of this is Woodward, Matt George, Murto, anyone who's dealt with Martial and kept him at the club. They're at fault more than the actual player. He's just going to sit there like he is doing now. I can go, can I? I can leave this month. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, I've just had a month off on the sick. That no one knows what's up with me. And I've earned what money in that time? Oh yeah, I've earned £1 million while sitting there ill. I think I'll stay, actually. Yeah, I'll stay. I'll take another 4 million, whatever it is, till the end of the season. No problem. Yeah, so just carry on, boys. Carry on. I'll keep this shirt warm for the next person who comes in the summer. Fast forward now, please, is what I say. Fast forward right now. Martial has to be carried up the plane, or he'll get injured. Martial needs to be wrapped up in bubble wrap. Hey Adam, I agree that a lot of money has been spent, but is it really Ten Hag's fault? The players are that he selected, mate. The money that we spent is the club's fault. Yeah, I should break that down a little bit more when I say the money that Ten Hag has wasted. Ten Hag doesn't pay the fees, I understand that, but Ten Hag picks the players. So even if we got these players on the cheap, Ten Hag has picked them, we know this. Are they doing any good? I think we should just break it down at that. Let's take the money out of it, and let's not give him any more transfers or any more players to bring in. He's had enough players come in. He needs to make something work. Dolby, how you doing, buddy? Adam, I feel... Sorry, it's just gone off the screen. I feel it's not entirely fair on Martial. We've known about his injury record for years. Woodward and Murto were the idiots who gave him a new contract. I think I just did say that then, actually, Dolby. Or Dobby, sorry. I keep saying Dolby, but Kaz makes me correct it. It is Dobby. I know what you're saying. I agree with that. I think that's what I just did say then. I mean, I just don't like his attitude, and that's why I don't like the player. But really, the biggest culprits in this are Manchester United, not Martial. They're the ones that have lined his pockets. They're the ones that have given him them contract extensions, and why he's bordering on bleeding testimonial privileges at the football club. Thankfully, that runs out a year just before, and we can get rid of him this summer. Ten Hag must be asked how much he thinks the players are worth, says Steve Nicol. Tony Bond says, by what I've seen, McTominay is always getting in Rasmus's way in the box, going for the same ball. That's why Rasmus is struggling. I think last night I highlighted that a bit. I'm not going to cling on to McTominay being the big culprit why Rasmus hasn't scored goals. I think a lot of people jumped on McTominay getting in the way last night, and he did, but McTominay's not the problem for Rasmus Højlund. McTominay is a problem for himself in how... He's not a problem for himself, actually. He's a problem for United. And I don't know why we keep clinging on to him and playing him, but definitely not when it comes to Rasmus Højlund. I mean, last night he did get in the way on a few occasions, and I think everyone has highlighted that as a big reason, but Rasmus Højlund should have had a hat-trick besides what Scott McTominay was doing last night, so there's no excuse at all. Scott could have had a couple. He was wasteful. Rasmus was wasteful. Bruno, again, same, wasteful. And yeah, that's why we only beat Wigan 2-0. and that's why loads of people are coming into my chats and commenting on the videos later on, saying that is your level. What are you moaning? Stop moaning. I'm not moaning. I'm just telling you how it was. What do you want me to say? Lie and say that it was fantastic? It wasn't, was it? Let's be honest, it wasn't. So to top up the top stories and what is happening, guys, Sancho deal looks like he is done and dusted and on his way to Dortmund tomorrow. Those are the news. The rumours coming out now from Germany. A lot of other broadcasters and media outlets are going in with that one now as well, so we can expect that to be done definitely before the weekend, possibly tomorrow. Bonuses 3.5 million minimum to Manchester United, and Dortmund covering 2/3 of his wages as well, so not a bad deal in the end, considering he could have been sat there doing a Martial. A Martial is the news that we got today, where he is just sitting it out till the end of the season, taking his $250,000 a week. So that's the top two headlines. No real surprise in either one of them. Sancho actually wants to play football. I'll give him that over Martial. Martial just has given up. That's what it looks like. If you know that you can go and play football on less wages, but you'd rather sit on that money knowing that you're going to play, a handful if you're ever available, that's a player that's given up on football for me. I don't think you'll ever see Martial in any headlines or doing well at any other club when he leaves Manchester United. Just my opinion and my thoughts. If he does, well done to him. But from what we've seen, when he went out at Sevilla, couldn't hack it there. And I don't think he'll be able to make it at any club now. He's getting to that stage of his career. He's not played 90 minutes for 3 years. I don't know who he's going to take him personally. I think this is proof in point that he's a man that everyone knows, and for the wrong reasons. He just isn't capable anymore. He isn't going to give you what you need. You can't build a team around him. You can't get 90 minutes out of him. He can't run. And still, I don't think anyone knows his best position. I really don't. Ed Barrett says, is there a way back for Erik Ten Hag for you? Oh, he's talking to Batman Reels, sorry. Is there a way back for Ten Hag for anyone? Let me know. Joe Glazer should have let Jose sell Martial. Yep. Joe Glazer and Ed Woodward stopped Martial leaving. We wouldn't have had this issue right now. Adam Sancho needs to show up in training first. Don't jinx it. I think what they'll do, maybe getting him an apartment. Excuse me, got the hiccups. Maybe get Sancho an apartment at Dortmund's training ground, just so he's there constantly. Hook up an Xbox, all the mod cons for him, make him feel comfortable, just to make sure that he actually turns up, make him stay there. I think that's the best bet for Sancho. Definitely. On to the next bit of news. I want to move on to the next story, which is Hannibal's decision. Now, I'll just read the update and the news coming out of the sources today, which is Everton and Seville are close to agreeing a loan deal with Manchester United for Hannibal Mejbri. Once both deals are agreed, it will be down to Hannibal to choose where he wants to go and play for the rest of the season. Either one, I think, has its benefits for Manchester United. There were rumours today as well that Ten Hag was still trying to cling on and not let Hannibal go. I think it would be criminal. You only have to look at the team last night. Absolutely depleted. And he still doesn't get on the pitch. It's pointless Hannibal staying at Manchester United. He has to go out on loan. If Ten Hag stops him, then I just think I would question it straight away. I'm trying to think of the right phrase and right word to say what that would be, but it is bordering on absolute selfishness, disgrace. You cannot stop a young player's progression by keeping him there knowing that you're not going to play him. You think of the players that were missing last night, and he couldn't get in a game against Wigan from League One. He isn't going to play him the rest of this season. He's going to be third or fourth choice in that position, especially with Mason Mount coming back now, who he needs to make something of. If Ten Hag did try and stop Hannibal going on loan, then questions seriously need to be asked with Ten Hag and his management of this team. That would be an absolute shambles. That would be a disgrace for me if he didn't let Hannibal go. But I think the noises coming out are that he is going to go, so let's hope it doesn't even come to that conversation with Ten Hag. But Hannibal deserves to go out on loan and get game time. He's not going to get it at United. Where would he best go? Actually, I'm going to put that up in the chat right now. Let's start a poll going, everyone. Best club for Hannibal. Best loan for Hannibal. Option 1 is Everton. And number 2 is Sevilla. Poll is up right now, guys. Get voting on that, please. Please do give the video a like. Let's get up. We're at 150 now. Let's get up to that 200 mark, everybody. Thank you very much for all coming in the show tonight. We need football, don't we? Need real football, I think. I'm just like, I feel lost. It's like I can't even count last night as a game. It was that poor. But yeah. Claire says Mount over Bruno. Joe says negligence. Adam, Seville, no question. I want to see him get Prem experience. Says Kaz. Everton, just because he'll get to play Premier League games. Accrington Stanley says Madhouse. Madhouse, with a name like that and a picture like that, I can't take that seriously. Everton, says Jordan. I think a lot of people would sway towards Everton simply because it's Premier League, and Everton not doing too bad. Everton, and I think he has got a chance of getting in that team. I think he will get into Sevilla's team. Apparently, by all accounts, Sevilla are desperate to bring him in, and they've been like Romano, like Romano said. They've been chasing him from the summer, and Ten Hag didn't let him go. So there was a deal in place. Seville had negotiated something in the summer, apparently. I don't know if that is true, but they definitely wanted him in the summer. But Ten Hag decided to keep him after his pre-season performances. I was at the Wrexham game. I know it was against Wrexham, but it was a weakened United side, a lot of young players, but he stood out in that game. I interviewed Ben Foster after the game, and he said he's a player that definitely will make that step up. He is ready to go. We couldn't get the ball off him. That's what Ben Foster said. So, standout in that game was him. I thought Hannibal had a great pre-season. He was one of them players that stood up and made it impossible for Ten Hag. But now, faffing around, messing around Ten Hag, all the injuries we've got and still not playing him, it's the right time for him to go. Everton are winning the vote with 71% at the moment, where Hannibal should go. Get voting in the poll, everybody. Make sure you like it on your way up to that poll as well. And let's get up to that 200 mark, everyone. Just over 500 in the room with us right now. Seville wants him as a 10. Where is his best position, guys? That's another one. Where are you playing Hannibal? Would he be better going to Seville if they want him as a 10? Where will Everton play him? I honestly cannot see anyone wanting to play Hannibal anywhere else. I don't think it's beneficial for him to be on the wing. I don't think it's beneficial for him to be deeper. I think he just needs to be in that 10 sort of hovering role, just in front of the back, in front of the forward players. So I think he picks the ball up well there. He's good with his back to goal as well. He's tenacious. He's deceptively strong. He likes to tackle, so good for the press. And I think he would be an asset for both of these clubs. Honestly, for the style of play, I think Sevilla suits him better. Sean Dyche, I don't know, although they have been playing alright football recently. It has turned around a little bit for Everton form-wise, even though they've dipped a little bit with results against better teams recently. But still, I do think that getting Premier League game time is going to outweigh going to Spain. Although, look at what Mason Green was doing over there. He's having a fantastic time. It just goes to show, if it fits, and the club shows willing to bring a player in, and they make him welcome over there, I think you get more out of the player. I actually think Seville will get more out of him for them. It will benefit them more. I don't think he'll play every single game for Everton. I think he's got a chance for Seville. Not having a great season. They clearly want him. I think it might be more beneficial going to Sevilla and just the way they play. That intensity that they play with, I think that might suit. But I do understand the argument of him staying in the Premier League and just being accustomed to playing Premier League football. That is a big bonus in going to Everton as well. So, yeah, I can see both sides of it. Everton winning the vote at the moment. I think they will end up cruising it. But I do think there is merit in that move to Sevilla as well for Hannibal. So I could understand if he decided to go there, definitely. Other news in... Let me just bring it up right now. Moving on. Yes, so one player destined to leave is Hannibal. One player who we just cannot get out the door, but it's for good reasons this time, is Onana. I mean, no matter what you say, and I've poo-pooed this move all the way along, I think he should just go, commit to playing for your country. I think it's a disrespect to the rest of his teammates over there, his Cameroon teammates over in Africa, that he isn't available. He's now choosing to play against Spurs on Sunday and then fly out, which means he will be on the bench for the first game against Guinea in Ivory Coast for AFCON, for their Cameroon's first game. So Onana has decided that Andre Onana will not play in Cameroon's opening fixture of AFCON. He will fly to the Ivory Coast after United's game against Tottenham, but he will not play in the first fixture. If I'm the goalkeeper coming in and we win that game over in the Ivory Coast against Guinea, I'm saying, sod that, I want to keep my place. That's the risk he's running. He's taken advantage of knowing that he's number one, and there's been a big deal with Rigobert Song, who I think is the manager of Cameroon now, a former Premier League player as well. I think he knows there was obviously the big fallouts, and now there's been a big deal made of him going back. Rigobert Song has said he's really happy to have him back. He's like the leader of the team. Well, he's banking on a player there that really has got his priorities wrong when it comes to international football. For us, I think it's great. I wish every player was like Onana and not wanting to go on international duty. The problem we've got, and most of our outfield players want to go on international duty because it's easier. Onana's actually scared about losing his place, I feel, and wants to play and show willing to get in that goal as many times as possible. So as much as I've slagged Onana off this season, you can't question his commitment to the club. If he's putting club over country, that's a big argument that a lot of us have had many a times over many a international breaks and players going away and getting injured. I just feel like, although I'm against it, and I don't think it is fair on the rest of the team, Cameroon team that is, I don't think it's fair on Bayende. I thought he should have been playing anyway, but this goes to show that Altair Bayende will never ever play for Manchester United unless Andre Onana gets injured. That's where we're at with that. I would like to see him and see how he did, but I just don't know. I'll get into the chat now, but guys, almost there at the 200 like mark. Please give the video a like, everyone. Thank you for tuning in tonight. How is everyone feeling? Are we all looking forward to the game against Spurs this weekend? I am, just to get back to some real football. Definitely feels like yonks ago since that Nottingham Forest game. It really does. But yes, I'm for that game. We may have players back. I'll get into them next, but let's just sneak into the chat and see what you guys are up to. Martial reminds me of a politician, a greedy leech, says Graham. Onana does not want the backup to show us his stuff, says Ed. This Onana situation makes no sense. He will lose his spot to Bayende while he's away. Why delay the inevitable, says Dobby. I think he's just wanting to show willing out of all of this. I think he is. He got a clean sheet against Wigan, kept us level in the game, made an important save early doors in that one, so he's already in the good books there. And I feel a good game against Tottenham, I think that's going to definitely just say to the manager, all my commitment is there. I've risked my position in the team in AFCON, and when he comes back, he'll just walk straight back into the team no matter what Bayende is doing. I think that's his mindset. It has to be, doesn't it? Adam, do you think Old Trafford fans will ever turn on McTominay? They booed Pogba, Martial, etc. I mean, to be honest, McTominay's attitude is fantastic. He's just not a good enough player. So the fans will never turn on him because he always gives 100%. And quite rightly, they shouldn't turn on him. I think that would be wrong. You can moan and talk about Ten Hag and his decisions to play McTominay. Whenever we're slagging off McTominay, it's really slagging off Ten Hag for playing him. We can see his deficiencies. We can see why he's not going to work for United and we can't build a team around him in a very important position. But that's not his fault. Ten Hag thinks, like every other manager thinks, that have been at United before, he's got qualities that no one else can see and he's going to surprise us one day. The man's coming into his late 20s now and he's not getting any better. He isn't going to get any better. So I feel like it isn't McTominay's fault. And if any fan booed McTominay, I would actually call them out, because it's not fair on the lad. It's not his fault that he gets put in this team. And he does give everything. You cannot question that. Yeah, there are moments when he's not tracked back and he's completely switched off. I don't think it's Scott McTominay not showing willing. I just don't think his concentration is there. I don't think he's got the right mentality to handle carrying a midfield in that Manchester United shirt. It's like, for instance, the time when he didn't track back at Bayern Munich, everyone pulled him on. There was other times when he's done the same thing. I don't think it's through lack of willing. I just think he switches off. I don't think he's got the capability upstairs. He's got attributes, like I said, but I will never question his effort or his will and his love for the football club. And I don't think any United fan will ever boo him because of that. You can't boo a player for that. It's not his fault. It's like me, I know I'm not good enough for United, but if the boss tells me that I'm going to go and play for United, I'm putting that shirt on and I don't give a toss about what anyone else in the fan base thinks. This is my dream. I'm playing for United, so I'm on that pitch straight away. So, a harsh defence there of Scott McTominay. It's not really. I understand the question, Dobby, but no. To answer it properly, it will never happen. Mini19 with a super chat. Thank you very much. Money changed everything in football. Most players give their best when they want a big contract. The minutes they got the big money contract, they stop performing. Sad but true. I agree. A lot of players, I think Rashford, prime example of that, definitely this season. Tom Toms with another super, thank you, mate. Martial has been taking the mick out of us for years. Greedy, Rashford no better, genuinely holding the club to ransom. And some would say holding the club back as well, Tom Toms. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for the super chats. Keep all your comments coming in. I am well into the chat zone now. Anthony Wisdom says Onana fears for his place because he hasn't cemented his position as number one yet. Hasn't totally proved himself yet. Looks a nearly man so far. Too many mistakes. He needs a consistent run of games where he's performed well, I think, Onana now. I think that's where we're at with him. Hi Adam, are you doing watch along on top of the league? Which one for, Steve? Is that the Carabao Cup? I'm not sure if Craig's doing anything tonight, actually. But just go fly over there. No, that is me. I'm absolutely battered from last night, honestly. It was stream central yesterday. And guys, really appreciate you hanging on with me towards the end there, because it wasn't an easy watch, the Wigan game. And for everyone who has watched back on the player ratings and was there with me and Jay's sound issues, I know that winds people up. I am sorry. I do apologise. But yeah, it's good to get another voice on. I have got a lot planned for this weekend, guys, so you need to stay tuned because content is going up. Let's just say that. I'm working on the side, just trying to get things out of the way so we can fully concentrate on this weekend's plans for content. It's going to be mad on Saturday on the road, and then mad again on Sunday, obviously for game day. And I'm looking forward to it. I love the different content. And I appreciate everyone who likes the videos and just joins us, especially when we put in that little bit more effort. It means a lot. The Saint is in the house. I seem to remember a lot of fans going crazy when Martial was nearly sold under Jose. A few fans did, but I think at the time we had decent players coming in under Jose. I remember Jose's first summer was mental, wasn't it? I mean, what did we get? Mkhitaryan, Zlatan, Pogba. It was proper good players coming into Manchester United, and we all thought, this is it. This was off the back of winning the FA Cup. We're all going forward here. This is what we thought anyway. And little did we know, Little did we know what was coming around the corner. And the hierarchy at Manchester United throwing yet another manager under the bus. Mini19, welcome to the members club, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the super before as well, and now a member also. Great stuff. Brilliant stuff for Kaz and T. Joanna Malu says, Adam, mate, our problem is that players with good attitude misses ability, and those with ability misses attitude. Yeah, fair point, actually. I hear that. Madal says he needs the consistent spell on the bench in case of Onana. He's talking there. Ian says, I disagree, Ed. Erik ten Hag, just say go. Go. We had 2 keepers on the bench last night. Michael Manning, is Tottenham without Son for the United game? Yes, Michael. He's in the Asia Cup, so no Son for United. They should have Timo Werner over the line, though. How ironic would that be? United miss out on that signing, and then he plays a blinder on his return to the Premier League. It's just United writing that, isn't it? That's that wall, and there's the United writing on the bleeding wall, just because we missed out on a certain player. It's the way it works for us. Lewis, at least United won 2-0 yesterday. Good point, Lewis. Very important that results are there for United right now. Performances, crap. Results, very important, no. And we'll take a 2-0 win. We will go through to the 5th round as well. So January just became busier, obviously, because we made it through. We were looking at minimal games in January, but now we're into the 4th round. We have got an extra game in January, and then February is just absolutely crazy. Game after game after game, including a Thursday night game in the Premier League against Wolves. Weird one. Very, very weird one, that one. Don't know why that is there, but anyway. At least we've got another game. What else have we got in the chat there? I see Graham's having a bit of a say as well. What's Graham said? There's an entire show on it. What was that on, mate? Sorry. Adam, the channel is brilliant. Tom Toms, thank you. Love that. Jordan Dayton, Graham, wild optimism, or is there a theory behind beating Spurs? I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Oh, actually, Graham did message me earlier on today, guys, and said he doesn't fear for the Spurs game. He thinks they'll play right into our hands, and it'll be like the Villa game. As long as we take our chances, I think we'll be fine. I'm not as optimistic as that. I fear with our defence. I think Ten Hag will start changing it for this game. I'm not saying bringing Martinez back in is a bad thing, by the way. We just need to get into them injuries now, actually, before we finish up the show. So the last bit of news is obviously players coming back. United are planning for Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire, Casemiro and Mason Mount to return for the FA Cup 4th round tie against Newport or Eastleigh, which is at the end of this month. So there is a possibility that Casemiro and Martinez won't be available for the Spurs game this weekend. We will possibly, if you listen to Ten Hag last night, have maybe Luke Shaw and Eriksen back available, different to what we had for the Wigan game last night. Bit disappointing, to be honest. I've seen these players in training for weeks now. God knows what's happened to Mason Mount all of a sudden. Not happy with that one, and like a serious concern again about another player that is constantly injured that we've spent money on and brought to the club. So yeah, very, very difficult times for Ten Hag to balance his squad. But why are these players so constantly injured? It is a massive, massive concern. Let me just check what else we've got in the chat before we finish up. 6 points off top 4 if we beat Spurs. JC's thinking the positives. He is. Red Redemption says, Adam, have you seen Talkshite going in on Bruno and Man United all day? Yeah, well, I think they are going. I think it's easy pickings to go in on United now. I mean, if you listen to Cundy on the show last night, he was saying that Bruno's just done his job. He's won his team a penalty and won the game. Every team does it. I think because it's United and under Ten Hag at the moment, it's a free-for-all for anyone to have a go at the football club right now, and any player that isn't playing well. They're just easy targets. I think that's what it is. United will always make the headlines and will always be the top story. People hate us for it, but it's a fact. We will be. So when we're bad, everyone loves it. When we're good, everyone will probably find a reason why it will go back to being bad. That's just what it is. Lean towards the negative. I try to be positive. I try to be mixed and balanced in my shows. I think I have done there. I think this morning I talked about Mainu and how he is holding this team together. Him and Garnacho are giving us hope. one day one of these senior players might actually turn up and go, you know what, I really need to pull my finger out and do something. Bring on that day. 200 likes on the stream, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to wrap up everything there. Hope you have a fantastic evening. Go and watch some football. Carabao Cup. United were the holders in that, but we blew that one, didn't we? Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. All the super chats, the new members, and everyone else's contributions and comments in the chat as always. Thank you so much. That is it for now. Back tomorrow, usual time of 11:30, unless any breaking news comes about. We will see. But until then, have a good one, people, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.